The reason your mind wanders is because you've given it an incomplete script. And here's where you need to listen closely. You wake up in the morning with every intention to focus your time and energy on what matters most. But you get to the end of the day and your heart sinks when you see how little you've accomplished. What you really need is a game plan that stops the mindless scrolling on social media, stops you from zoning out, and stops you from wasting your energy on meaningless tasks. You see, there are 12 mistakes that people make every single day without even realizing it that destroy their capacity to be powerfully productive. Thankfully, I've got a free quiz that will help you to identify what yours are. But first, what are the top 3 little-known productivity mistakes that you can address immediately? The first one I discovered when I was 23 years old and writing my very first book. As you can imagine, writing a book requires a tremendous amount of energy and focus. And like most high-demand projects, they always have the biggest payoff, personally, professionally, and financially, because few are willing to go the extra mile to complete them. At the time, I found that whenever I sat down to focus, set time aside, and had a word count I had to hit to achieve my goal, my brain would freeze and I'd find it wandering to social media or refreshing email. To break this habit, I would close my eyes and visualize doing the thing that I was putting off from start to finish. You see, the reason your mind wanders is because you've given it an incomplete script. And here's where you need to listen closely. Imagine watching a movie and getting really into it, but suddenly the movie cuts to black halfway through because they never had a plan for what was going to happen next. In this case, you're the director of a movie that plays out every day in your life, and you have to complete the script and rehearse it so the lead actor, you, the crew, and the audience all knows what to do and when. Without it, your brain cuts to black because it doesn't know what happens next.
I know it's easy for your mind to wander.
And by default, especially when tasks are deemed too hard or require too much mental bandwidth, your brain ends up focusing on menial tasks you can do on autopilot at any time of the day because it's trying to fill in gaps in your script. To break this habit, you need to short circuit the neural pathways that are causing you to procrastinate. This requires 2 steps. The first, you must have a daily plan for what you'll do and when. Secondly, you must mentally rehearse a movie in your mind in which you see the successful completion of your daily tasks, even if you're unsure of how to do them. There's 2 ways that you can do this. One, by downloading one of my 10-minute visualization exercises that retrains your brain to focus, or 2, you can simply close your eyes and picture yourself successfully doing and completing the tasks that you sat down to do until they're completed. This is a powerful practice that athletes and entrepreneurs do daily. 6 books later, including the successful release of my bestseller Unstoppable, I can tell you, this is a secret weapon anyone who has high aspirations must have in their toolkit. But this step is only as effective as it can be if you stop making the next 2 mistakes. The second non-negotiable step you must take is to set your brain up for success. Your brain is like a mobile phone. If you don't charge it, it won't turn on. How many times have you sat down to complete a task that will increase your income, status, and improve your life has your brain failed you? If it happens daily, make sure you take the free quiz I'll share with you shortly. But first, you must ensure you're getting at least 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight first thing in the morning. Sunshine isn't just a symbolic way to welcome the new day. It's a physiological human need that you can't live without. A 2019 study found that exposure to morning sunlight results in greater alertness and leads to better sleep, which has a cascade effect on mood and productivity the following day. If your body doesn't get the right cues for wakefulness, you'll feel out of sync. Think about the last time you sat down to get a certain task done. You had everything you needed to complete it. Internet, a phone, a laptop, or a canvas. If your brain was out of sync, you felt it. A state of flow was impossible because your brain hadn't been given the right cues it needed to perform at its best at a certain time of the day. You need to lock your body and brain into a 24-hour schedule and give it a routine so you sleep better and feel more alert and energetic in the morning. Which brings us to the next most important productivity hack of all, which ties directly into the last. Have you ever wondered why a task can feel impossible at one moment, only for you to revisit it later and complete it with ease? This is your internal rhythm at play, otherwise known as your circadian rhythm. This is a 24 internal clock and it cycles between alertness and sleepiness. We each have 2 dips in energy and wakefulness that occur roughly 12 hours apart. One dip occurs at night, the other between 1 to 3 p.m. The latter can derail your entire afternoon and be worsened by eating foods rich in protein and carbohydrates. An amino acid called tryptophan contained within protein helps to produce serotonin, while carbohydrates help to absorb it. Even though serotonin is your happiness hormone, the last thing you want to do is spike serotonin too much in the afternoon after lunch, because it's also been linked to fatigue because of its well-known effects on sleep, lethargy, drowsiness, and a loss of motivation. Keeping your carbs for later in the day can help you to reduce this dip in energy and focus, while bright light therapy like going for a walk or having a sun lamp on your desk can help to reduce afternoon tiredness. But it isn't just failure to give your brain the script it needs to be productive, failure to get morning sunlight, or failure to understand your rhythms and hormones that destroy your productivity. One of the most powerful ways to increase your productivity is to perform a personal audit to uncover the multitude of ways you're unintentionally destroying your productivity. To help, click the link below to take the free quiz to find out what they are and get a game plan to become a productive powerhouse ASAP.